Okay, so in this video we'll be talking about Taylor series and Maclaurin series. So remember a Taylor series of a function f of x. So for a function f of x, the Taylor series for f centered at a is the power series n equals 0 to infinity. We are taking the nth derivative of f at a divided by n factorial times x minus a to the n. Okay, and we can call this t of x. Okay, so t of x is a power series, and the Maclaurin series just means that a is 0. So Maclaurin series is just the Taylor series centered at 0. Okay, so a Taylor series is we're given a function f, and we're coming up with a polynomial approximation of it via a power series. Okay, and if this does have a power series representation centered at a, it has to be this. Okay, so there are a few. So we can also truncate the polynomial, so we can say t sub k of x. So this would be some n equals 0 to k of the nth derivative at a all over n factorial times x minus a to the n, and this is the degree k, degree or order k, Taylor polynomial centered at a. Okay, so this is a Taylor polynomial because it has a maximum degree of k, whereas the Taylor series goes all the way to possibly having infinite degree. Okay, so there are a few power series or few Taylor series I expect you to know. So what are the infinite Taylor series you should know? And these are actually all Maclaurin series because they are all centered at 0. There are a few more than these that you could know, but these are the ones I expect you to know. I expect you to know the geometric series. Okay, and this converges when absolute value of x is less than 1 on the interval from -1 to 1. You should also know that the Maclaurin series for e to the x is the sum n equals 0 to infinity of x to the n over n factorial, and this converges for all values of x. You should know the Taylor series or Maclaurin series for sine x, sum n equals 0 to infinity, negative 1 to the n, x to the 2n plus 1 all over 2n plus 1 factorial. This also has infinite radius of convergence. And cosine x, sum n equals 0 to infinity, negative 1 to the n, x to the 2n all over 2n factorial. Also infinite radius of convergence. And lastly, natural log 1 plus x is the sum n equals 1 to infinity of negative 1 to the n over n times x to the n. And this has radius of convergence 1. And it converges when x is between negative 1 and positive 1, but includes 1. Okay, so I'd argue there's really only 3 you really need to know. Those 3 are these 3. The reason why I can say you really only need to remember 3 is, let's say you remember the power series or Maclaurin series for sine x. You can derive the power series for cosine x by taking the derivative with respect to x. All right, so the 2n plus 1 comes down. 2n plus 1 factorial or 2n plus 1 divided by 2n plus 1 factorial becomes 2n factorial. Also, you can go from here to here. This is an antiderivative. And replacing x with minus x. So these are the 5, possibly 3, depending on how you feel, number of power series you should remember.